here's what we got. It's the Reolink Argus2. Now this box only contains the camera, and that's what the camera looks like. Instructions? We don't need those stinking instructions, do we? It comes, there's no battery on the back, so we have to do some assembly of the battery, which is, all that stuff's down in here. There's the battery. Lithium ion, by the way, lasts, when it's fully charged, a long, crazy long time. There's for mounting all of this. If you want to mount it like outside up on top of the RV or something, you stick this up there. You can mount this on it. You can angle it and position it and aim it wherever you need to go. You cannot travel with your camera mounted up there. I don't know why you would want to. So let's put that just back down here for a minute. And then, guess what that is? That is a little attachment strap in there, some other things tucked in, USB cable, some screws and fasteners in case you want to mount this other piece, or the base, more screws and fasteners. This base that's under here is magnetic, and man is it a good magnet. But it's also got the little screw for using the other mounting, which is here, or any other standard camera mount. But this thing here is the magnetic base. Oh boy, that grabs it real good. So there's going to be a little bit of hocus pocus going on here, and I'll get this battery out of here. All this stuff we're going to put aside for now. Battery's real simple deal. It just fits on the back. But before we do that, I'll show you another little thing. This is the release mechanism if you want to take the battery off. Don't know why you would. This is where you would plug in a USB cable to do charging. And it comes with its own special configuration. It's a new style USB-C type. Now, I have the optional solar panel. That's the way I purchased it, as a package deal. It's in another box. Solar panel's just totally simple, but that's where the solar panel plugs in. So if you're going to put this out somewhere and you're going to be camping and you don't have access to electricity or something, you know, so you'd have to run a wire up to it or anything like that, that solar panel takes care of this. However, without the solar panel, just the camera alone, you can charge this whole thing, this battery, stick it on the camera. Now when I do this, it's going to start talking to me. But that will last for, oh golly, probably 48 hours or better. So if you were without the ability to plug this in and recharge it, or you didn't have a solar panel to do that, a charge, and this thing will last and watch for a long time. Now here in the RV I have my own Wi-Fi network, which is made by a company called Wi-Fi Ranger. It has a exterior unit for reaching for signals at a very great distance, or the inside unit, which lets all of these devices connect. And then I use a Verizon wireless hotspot to feed the Wi-Fi Ranger. So the camera only has to connect to one Wi-Fi signal, and that's the one that's in the RV. It stays connected all the time. There's no reconfiguration once you're done with this. So let's give this camera a little cataract operation. It's got a protective plastic, which, boy, it's a little blue plastic thing. Uncovers the lens and the infrared sensor. And your infrared illumination is all right here also. There's a little gray area right underneath the lens, which is up here. Oh, that thing's hanging on tight. Those things do hang on. So here's where all the action starts. Now this is just dead simple, but there's another thing you got to notice on the back. There's a little QR code right down here. And on your cell phone or tablet, you're going to need to scan that. So I'm going to get just my cell phone out, and we'll get to that when we need it. But first thing you're going to notice is this thing will power up, and
camera has been started up. Please run Reolink app, add the camera, and set it up.
okay, I'll get closer enough so you can hear this real good. It's going to keep repeating this message.
Please run Reolink app, add the camera, and set it up.
I'm going to repeat that until you get totally nuts from hearing it, unless you do this. So I've got the app installed. I've already got one of these cameras up.
Please run Reolink app, add the camera, and set it up.
Be still. Golly. On the app, we're going to add a camera. When you first start up, it shows you your camera that you've already got running. In the case of a new installation, that's not going to be there. You're just going to see the part that says add a new camera. So, because I've already got one, I have done the pull down menu, got the plus over here, touch the plus in the corner of the screen, and that little plus is going to start the whole process here, and it says scan. So here we go.
Please run Reolink app, add the camera, and set it up.
Okay, I did that. Now it says we're going to connect to the Wi-Fi, the little blue panel. And then it says, yes, I heard the voice. There it is. And it sees the Wi-Fi that the phone's connected to. Yes, we're going to connect to that. But I have to put the password in here for the Wi-Fi. So we'll give it that for the moment. I know what that is. Now there's always the fat finger problem. So you can touch that little symbol over there and it shows you what that password is that you put in there. And it looks like I did it right this time. So now we go next. It produces
Please run Reolink app,
a
add the
QR
camera,
code,
and set it up.
and it wants the camera to look at that QR code.
Scan succeeded. Camera is connecting to your router.
There you
Please
go.
wait. Connection to the router succeeded. Welcome to Reolink.
That's all it takes.
Connection to the router succeeded. Welcome to Reolink.
That's it. It's set up. It's ready to go. Now, I do need to create a login password for that camera to protect from some random person coming along and saying, oh, we got an unprotected Wi-Fi signal for a device. We don't want to let somebody in there. So now I'm going to create a password for that. And it wants to check your work, so you have to do it twice, and you got to do it the same way both times. And I hope I did. Next. So now it's talking to the camera, and it wants you to name this camera. I'm calling it Camper 2. I've already got one out here named Camera 1. So that's going to be its new name. So the device has gotten a name and a password. And everything's all done. Tells you all about all this stuff. Use now, it says. So I've got Camper 1 and Camper 2 listed here. Camper 1's not currently connected, but Camper 2 is, and it's able to look at what we're doing. So I'm going to move this around. Now I'll show you something else here that I kind of like. You can turn this sideways and it gives you a big view, but here you go. It's working, all connected. It was that quick, that simple. Believe me, I can't find anybody that can't do this as simply as that. It is all written out in instructions, but who needs instructions? Goodness sakes. Don't worry about that. Now, we're up and running. The next thing is going to be to pull that solar panel out that I got, and that's working already. There's some other settings in the app on the phone that you can set, which says when that camera or the other one sees movement, send me a notice, an email, or send me a notice and a picture of what it saw, what triggered it. And you can go on the Reolink website on their cloud server, and if you only have one camera, you get a free account to store images for 2 weeks. You can store a 15-second video clip of whatever triggered the camera, whatever's going on at the moment, and it'll continue to record clips of 15 seconds. I think 8 seconds is the default, but I moved all mine to 15 seconds just in case there's a rascal involved. Most of the time it's a bird or a raccoon, wildlife, or me. Anyhow, that's all able to be reviewed right here. You can save them, you can download them. It'll take still images also, and while you're viewing a live camera, if something looks funny, you just touch the screen. There's a little image down here that shows a camera symbol or a video symbol. You touch and it'll record, and it comes to your phone. It also stores it on the server. Now, here's the other thing. I have been so happy with the one that I got. I bought a second one, and that's so that I can watch both sides of the RV when I'm out and away camping, and I do a lot of dry camping, so that means BLM land, but I want to be able to know, since I travel alone, that everything's secure. So I have one for each side that can be placed, because they are solar, because these batteries last so long, because they're so small and so versatile in placing them somewhere. I can hide them in bushes or woods, or if I happen to be like a Joshua tree or something like that, find a rock somewhere, set it at a distance so that it can see, and it'll watch, and anything that it sees in its field of view, which is quite wide, it's going to notify you about it. So the other nice thing, when you do notice something and you happen to be 25 miles away, these have a little microphone. You hear what's going on. You can choose to listen. You can hear. But it also, just as the camera was talking to us during the setup, you can speak through the camera. So if somebody happens to get around somewhere, you can activate that and say something to somebody. It also serves as an alarm tone. There's a kind of a disturbing sounding alarm tone, which when you place one of the stickers that they provide in their documentation in your window that says video surveillance by Reolink, then it's like somebody hears a tone that sounds alarming. It's like run, 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 leave it alone, get away. But you've got the goods, because you got the video clips, you got the ability to download them, go immediately to authorities, present the video evidence, whatever. Doesn't mean that it's not going to result in something bad happening because you got a camera, but you're going to know about it. You're going to have some evidence in case something can be done. It is a great deterrent to know that there are one or more video cameras watching you, which you don't have the ability to prevent from seeing you and recording you. One last thing to comment on, that information is also stored on the Reolink website, like I said, in their cloud. But under that little peel up tab on the side, there's a little micro SD card slot. You can slide that little micro SD card in there, and even if you don't have a Wi-Fi hotspot for cell or something, or you're not in some way connected to Wi-Fi, that's recorded on this card. Now, if they find the camera and they take off with the camera, that is gone, which is the only bad thing. But they don't know whether it's only on the camera or if it's somehow Wi-Fi connected. It is kind of daunting to have that alarm go off, especially to hear somebody say something to you through the camera. And I'm getting a little aggravated putting that, oh there it is, all tucked in, back together, it's silicone. One other little thing I showed you earlier is this. It's a weatherproof hoodie. And when you get everything all connected up, solar panel, ready to plug in solar panel, got a little pop-out panel in the back, and you can open that up, and it protects that little connection over the back of the camera where you would connect a USB charger or a solar panel in this case. And you just slip that over like you're putting a little snowsuit on a little white droid of some kind. There it is. It's a rain hood, and it saves the face of the camera, the lens, and so forth, and it shields it from sunlight in the event that the afternoon sun is kind of looking that way at it. It doesn't completely cover when there's a low sun angle, but it gives you a unobstructed, glare-free view for almost all angles. So your little thing goes back on there. That's pretty much it. I'll do one more thing. Set this all down over here. And using a sharp instrument. There's a tape. This is the solar panel. Comes in a box. Got a little thing like so. Got a picture on the side. It's just about as dead simple to use as there is. The difficult part is to get that thing open without performing an appendectomy on yourself. These things are so well taped. And complicated to figure out the box, believe me. Sit there and laugh at me, that's okay. This tells you all about the solar panel, how to use it, but we don't do those instruction things. Protective cover for the panel. There's the panel. Kind of nondescript, but a lot of cord, can hide it away. It's got a mounting, so if you wanted to put this, and it's quickly detachable, but if you wanted to put this solar panel somewhere, like mount it up on the roof of the camper where the sunlight gets to it all the time, got enough cable you can run down, drop into the back of the camera and charge it, keep it charged, or tuck this all away out where the sun hits the face of the panel, but somewhere that it gets to see the whole side of the camper, which is what I'm going to do. And then the other camera with the other panel is hidden away so that it looks at the other side of the camper. Anybody approaching anywhere is going to be seen, because this thing sees such a wide view that one on each side, front and back somewhere, or wherever you can find a place to discreetly conceal these things, they're going to see whatever's going on. So that's the solar panel. Just as simple as can be. Plugs into that USB-C port on the back of the camera. Keeps it all charged. You can have days and days of overcast, and that camera is going to stay alive, because if there's any light outside at all, this is giving that camera a little bit of something. And on a bright day, which we've got a fairly bright day today, it really charges up the camera. You can see on the Reolink app that you have on your cell phone or tablet that your battery condition is X%, whatever it is. That was like 78% when I took it out of the box. Right now, my other camera that's been in use now for almost a month, it always runs 100%. At the worst, if we get 2 days of rain and clouds, it'll get down to 95%, 94%, but right back up. So that's what that is all about. The Reolink optional solar panel. I advise the solar panel, just totally hassle-free. And you don't have to remember to keep charging the thing. Bring it in and charge it. So remember, open up the box, throw those instructions, come back to the video and watch what I did. Or if you really have to succumb to that curiosity of wondering what's on those pages that they did pay considerable money to print, go back, look at it, make fun of any poor grammar you might find. There are a couple of grammatical errors in here and a couple of spelling errors in their instruction book, which they haven't found, but if that kind of stuff bothers you, you'll notice it. Otherwise, this is the simplest thing in the world to set up and use. You have the confidence that if you're traveling alone, your rig is as protected as it can be. The only thing better, I guess, would be a big vicious dog in here. But you got to feed that, water it, you got to come back. You can't let it get too hot. There's too many drawbacks to having that guard dog present. And I guess the only other thing would be to put up with a second person and leave them behind. That's always going to be a fight. Nope, we're not staying behind. So there you go. Put a camera out there, let it watch your rig, and let it call you the minute there's something that it doesn't like, which I've had birds, raccoons, squirrels, cats, and of course me running back and forth. All kinds of notifications from things. But it's only been a month. We'll see how it goes, and get one, hook it up, and travel carefully. We'll see y'all.